I invite you to settle in comfortably, to close your eyes if you'd like, or simply find a breathing rhythm that feels right for you, as if you were giving yourself, right now, a moment just for you, gently letting everything around you fade away or drift a little farther into the background. Perhaps you could even allow yourself to do nothing at all, simply to be here, just as you are, listening to my voice, or not even hearing it at all. You might even imagine, without much effort, that a part of you is completely at rest, as if it had found a hammock where it can settle, sway, and be gently cradled, while another part of you might continue observing, as if it was watching a film, a scene, or simply a series of images passing by, without really needing to understand. And speaking of films, it reminds me of a story I once heard about a rather unique old clock that had stood for decades in the foyer of a grand theater. This clock had seen lively times, nights of laughter, lights and applause, but over the years it had started to lose its precision, almost as if it had taken the liberty of disconnecting from the usual flow of time. Its hands turned at their own pace, slowing down, sometimes even pausing mid-tick, only to start again, unhurried and indifferent to the world around it. It continued ticking in its own way, in its gentle rhythm, unconcerned with others' expectations. One day, the theater director, annoyed, decided to bring it to a clockmaker. He wanted the clock back on track, keeping time accurately. But when the clockmaker arrived, a wise and elderly man, he took a moment to listen to the irregular ticking and observe the soft movements of the hands. Rather than fixing it, he placed his hand gently on the old wood and simply said, "Sometimes things need to take their own time. Perhaps this clock is here to remind us that we can slow down too." And, against all expectations, he left it as it was, ticking to its own rhythm. At first, the theater goers, accustomed to relying on the clock to know when shows would begin, were frustrated, but gradually they adapted to the clock's peculiar dance. They started to notice a certain wisdom in that clock, a way of reminding them that time doesn't always need to be precise, and that sometimes the seconds can stretch, expand, as a subtle reminder that time needn't always be so strict, and that we, too, can move at our own rhythm. And perhaps you, too, could allow yourself to slow down, not always following the pace that is expected of you. Like that clock finding its own balance, its own tranquility outside of others' timeline. And then there's the story of a painter, a man who loved playing with colors so much it seemed he almost understood them as one understands an old friend. One stormy day, as grey clouds rolled across the sky and lightning streaked across the horizon, he took his brushes and set up his easel in the middle of nature, facing the storm. The villagers, safe under their roofs, watched him in surprise, some even shaking their heads, wondering why he chose such a turbulent moment to paint. But he continued, his gaze calm, a spark of curiosity in his eyes. To him, the storm was an opportunity. Each brush stroke seemed to dance with the wind. Each color laid on the canvas captured the intensity of the lighting, the depth of the clouds, but also the serene space beyond, as if he knew that at the heart of every storm lies a moment of calm. He said that painting the storm helped him tame it, to understand it better. With each stroke of color, he transformed the turbulence of the sky into something peaceful, something beautiful. And maybe you too could imagine that stress, like a storm, can be transformed. What seems dark or intense can blend with the other shades of your life without overwhelming it. And, like the painter who found gentleness in the heart of lighting, you can find a space within you where everything feels lighter, more at ease. And sometimes, all it takes is viewing things from a different angle to reveal hidden beauty, waiting patiently for calm to return. And now, as this session comes to an end, I invite you to imagine now that the stress you felt was like an inflated balloon. You undo the knot with ease, and you see that balloon deflate, 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 and gently fly away, taking stress with it. From now on, your unconscious mind knows just what to do to bring calm to each part of you. Imagine yourself in a few moments, soon, or when the time is right for you, feeling good, feeling that this session has contributed to letting a sense of tranquility enter your daily life. Feel the happiness of seeing that positive things are taking a hold smoothly in a lasting way. In a few moments, this session will end, but your unconscious mind will continue to work for your well-being in the nights following this session. Gently, all the parts of you will be able to reassociate, and when you wish, you'll be able to return to the here and now, to the present moment, and you will be able to reopen your eyes